Somebody's excited about the snow. He wants me to let him in the truck because he thinks there's a toy in there. I'm not playing fetch with you. It's 8 degrees outside. Nope. Go find a stick. You find a stick? Water is frozen. It looks like it's strong enough that actually River could walk on it, but I bet you by like noon today it'll be unfrozen because it's going to be 27 and sunny. Come on, let's go. Get up here. Let's go on the boat. Come on. I don't have his. I'm a little worried that he's going to try to jump off the dock, but I don't think he will do that. So for those of you who haven't seen these lifts, this is my buddy Jack. See how his boat, you just put some air underneath it and fills it up and it lifts it out, and it's the same as putting it in his driveway. And it's just letting the air out now, hey?
Yeah. They don't have these going?
No.
Ice.
Yeah, like, because we have a hard freeze, it will break. We take, floating docks usually come out.
Really?
Like the dock comes out.
Wow.
Yeah. And November 15th, you can't have your boat in the water no more. Or the Coast Guard starts coming.
Really?
Yeah. And then between April 15th and May 1st, you can put it back in the water.
Gotcha.
And my boat had to be craned out, the sailboat, so it cost me $1,800 to keep it out of the water for that 4 months. $1,800. And then it was $3,600 to keep it at the dock for the 8 months. Right, so coming here, I can get 1 year here for the price, or 5 years here for the price I was paying up there. I'm like, I gotta move. And I can use my boat year round.
Yeah.
Dude. That lift cost him $2,700 if I remember right. It was used. My boat could use a lift. My dinghy definitely could use a lift. One thing I've learned over the last 3 years of coming down here for winter in Tennessee and Kentucky, somewhere between January and the end of February, you'll get, I don't know what the best way to describe it is, 1 to 2 weeks below freezing. And there's enough up and down in the middle of that where it'll hit 40 or 38 or sunny or whatever, where nothing hard freezes in the water. But you know, when it's 8 degrees at night, it only gets to be 20 degrees during the day. That's something you gotta think about. You know, you can't just, you have to winterize some things. But so we're getting prepared for that. I want to try to stay on the houseboat for it. I want to see what would happen if I was out on an island. So I believe what we're going to do is actually stay in the marina for this whole time. Unless it gets boring, and we'll just go try it and we'll see. But we're just going to test out the heater and everything and see what happens. I remember the first year that I left a heater on in here and I came back and the dog water bowl was frozen. So if that kind of stuff happens, we're going to head to the RV. But we're going to try it. So in preparation for that, I'm going to fill up the diesel. I'm going to make sure that both of my propane tanks in the RV are full before it even gets cold. And then I'm going to have all my gas tanks filled up in case the power goes out and I need the generator to run that. We'll do that. So, and that's where we're going to go. And I think that's the plan right now. I have a couple of DVDs and, you know, stuff to basically sit and stay inside and be warm. The only problem with being here is that I have to go out to let him out. If I'm on the island, I can just open up the door and he can go out and I don't have to, like, get cold. So that may, if I'm here for a day or two and everything's running good with just a diesel heater and I don't need any electric heat or anything, we might go out to the island, anchor, and just let him run, like, be out in the cold or whatever he wants to do, you know. But we're gonna play it by ear. Headed down to the beach to run the dog.
That was the longest I've been stoned. Room full of friends inside at the door. Said where you go, man, I don't know. Drive down the coast, no music on.
I'm gonna cut back to some other videos of us being here, but essentially it rained for 2 days and now there's no more beach. Look at it. It's gone. That blows my mind. That the alternative to what vehicle I have to use. So for instance, I was driving along here and walking the dog on the beach with this, right? Now I'm gonna drive along and walk the dog on the beach here with the houseboat or the dinghy. It doesn't matter what level the water's at. I'm still gonna use that area. It's just what vehicle I use. It's kind of cool. River loves it. One thing that you wouldn't think that I have to deal with is I actually still have to get water like this because they turn off the water to the docks. So even when I'm at the marina, I have to have water in that jug. So I'm gonna fill a couple of those and bring them inside so they don't freeze, because we're gonna drop down below zero for a while.
Ain't alright, the hardness of my head. Now close your eyes, spin around, say, hard time you could find, but ain't the way that you want. But it's still alright.
My dinghy is completely full of water. I'll show you in a second here. And my pump to pump it out is in the sailboat, which is kind of the way the world's working right now. Everything's in the sailboat. However, my shower, you see that little pipe coming out of the bottom of that's the intake pipe for my shower on the back of the boat. So I'm thinking I can stick that intake pipe into the back of the dinghy and use it to empty the dinghy with the shower on the back of the pipe. How genius is this? Oh my. Let's see if it works. So you see how everything's kind of floating? There's at least 3 inches of water and 4 or 5 in the back. That's the problem. Water's supposed to be on the outside. Now, River is definitely inspecting on this project. So here's the hose from the shower intake. Put it right there. Let's hold it in place. Let's turn on the shower. Yeah. Pumping the dinghy out with the shower. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pumping the dinghy out with the shower. Well, this should be a new song. Pumping the dinghy out with the shower. So the winter weather report says it's going to kick in overnight and be here for the next 3 days. It is 14 degrees out, and it's going to be 8 degrees out in the morning, and it's been snowing for a few hours now. This part of the dock is under the roof, so there's no snow, but where the boat is, there's snow. It's already a couple of inches, and when we're done, we're going to have 6 inches in the next day or two. Not very houseboat-like, but it's nice and warm and cozy in there. If he's going to slip on this when he comes down here. I sent him up here to go potty by himself. Because it's snowing and that looks very slippery and I'm not doing that right now. Rip! Go slow. No, look at, he just does it. It's pretty cool. What? It's winter in Tennessee. Come here. He's like, Daddy, I'm chasing animals. Well, I think I'm going to stay down here and let him run around for a bit, but I'm going to call him back. I'm not going to try to go up that ramp unless I have to go somewhere. I'll be honest with you. Come on, bud. He's like, but Dad, I want to run around. I'm going to take him down by the river. It'd be cool to run on the beach with the snow. But I'm going to make some coffee first because it's cold and I just got out of bed. Hey, River. You want to go to the boat? Come on, let's go to the boat. So a lot of people are wondering, well, why aren't you out on the island? I would be out on the island. Problem is, those motors only work till 5 degrees. And if it gets below 5 degrees, they start to have trouble even working while you're driving. So it's 8 degrees, which obviously. Something very interesting has happened with all this snow on the roof. The roof's not cold anymore. It's acting like insulation. Yeah. The roof, with snow on the roof right now, it feels as warm as the air right here to right here. Very cool. He keeps pushing snow off of the dock into the water. What are you doing, you weirdo? Alright, I'm gonna go take him to... We're gonna go check on the camper. Why not? We're happy campers. There's a very different sound that the dock is making when it moves with all the snow on the roof. It's creepy. It's creepy. Glad I'm not under the roof. Alright, I'm not going to film me going up this ramp. I'm going to use both my hands on the railings. Look how beautiful this is. Try to find, he's not very good at search and rescue. Let's see if it flies still. Yeah.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you'd don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled
Waiting for me. Soon as we meet up with him, I'm gonna sink this baby. With you in it. You'll never get away with this, you two-bit filthy scum. What do you call me? Scum. Well, perhaps you'd like to leave now. Mouse.
Well, that happened last night. Yeah, okay. I guess I'm frozen in. Nowhere to go.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days
Come on, let's go. Get up here. Let's go on the boat. Come on. Alright, it was sunny all day and the bay stayed frozen through the whole day, which I wouldn't have thought would happen. However, when I step on my boat now, it's moving a little bit. The dock, as it snowed, went down a full foot compared to the boat, and the boat was also down because it had snow on the roof, obviously. But if you look at, let's take an icicle here. So you would think this would break through. No. So it's real ice. I mean, I wouldn't walk on it, but yeah, we'll see. One of my buddies, Jack, is going to try to go fishing in the morning. I'll make a short of that. If they actually are able to get through this ice, I'll be impressed. Jamie and Jack, we'll see. Look at the ladder. Alright, so if you have an old outboard motor and this is going to happen to it, your bet is to keep the propeller underwater, because if there's water in the lower unit, the water underneath the ice there is actually 34, 36, or sometimes even 45 degrees. If you have a brand new motor and there's no water in the lower end, you pull it out and you let it sit in the air, and that's frozen solid right there. So there's no motor on the inside. There's no water on the inside of the motor, so there will be no damage to that. Now, sailboat is a inboard motor, which means it sucks. You guys, if you guys have seen me talk about how that motor runs, it sucks water from the lake. With boats like that, you run heaters 24 hours a day in the motor, in the engine compartment, to keep the motor above a certain temperature. And if the power goes out, you risk blowing your motor, actually cracking your motor with ice, and then the next time you turn your motor on, the water runs and fills your boat and sinks your boat. Sometimes the crack is big enough that it'll just leak without your motor running once everything thaws out, and it'll just sink your boat, the next time everything thaws out. So it's a big deal to be on a dock in this type of situation with an inboard motor that's using the lake water to cool it. What I did to stop that from any danger from happening was I paid Greg to winterize the sailboat. So before I left the sailboat, I put antifreeze in by antifreeze, I mean it's healthy antifreeze that you don't want to drink it, but it's made of beet juice. It's made for RVs. I put it in the sinks, the drains of the sinks. I put it in the bilge, in the pump, and also Greg got the motor running and ran it through the motor to where it was pumping out antifreeze too. So everything's been winterized in that boat. There is no thermostat in that boat, and even though it's insulated and it's better off insulation than this boat, there's no thermostat. So I would be forced to, sit there and have electricity. Number one, I couldn't go away from the marina, which I can in this boat. The other one is I would have to sit and cut wood. And that, I mean, it's fun, but it gets old if that's your only source of heat. So, next episode, I'm gonna show how this is thawing out. I'm gonna go and stay on an island while it's still winter here with snow on the ground. And then a week after that, I think like next Monday, it's 54 degrees and at night and 63 during the day. So this is all kind of gonna come and go pretty quickly. Yeah, so should be an exciting. My next episode should be pretty cool because we're gonna actually go out and spend winter on an island for a couple of days, and then watch it all thaw, and it'll be muddy and River can run around. And not only that, the water is high enough so I can get back into some places that I typically wouldn't go. So this is gonna be pretty cool. The diesel's frozen. I've seen this before. So you see how slow it's going? It's frozen. Won't come out the pump. Good thing I wore my gloves. I got close enough that I did the automatic takeoff and you can hear it running. Look at it. No, I don't want to pick it up because I'll hurt myself with these blades. The autopilot's running and it's going to want to take off. I'm going to try to stick my hand in here and hit the off button. I got to hold it down for like 2 seconds. I found it. A lot of people wonder what the difference is with four-wheel drive versus four-wheel low versus all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is basically your disc brakes are stopping the tire from spinning whenever it starts to spin, so it's the same as traction control, essentially. Four-wheel drive is all four wheels are getting power and it's jumping from the left to the right based on whatever the differential is doing. Limited slip differential will actually stop it from going from the left to the right and make it so it's completely locking or not slipping from the left to the right. Four-wheel low, which is what I'm in, is like if you're on a 10-speed and you change the front gear. Now, all 5 gears on the back of a 10-speed bike are now different because you changed the front gear. Four-wheel low is changing the front gear. So now, my top speed in this vehicle with all 6 gears is only going to be 40 miles an hour. And that's with revving completely up. The other thing it does is it allows me to crawl along. You see right now at idle speed, without touching the pedal, I'm going very, very slow. Same thing as changing your front gear on your 10-speed bicycle to that little tiny gear. Makes your engine go directly back so it's even power. It's a different ratio. And it also locks all 4 gears together. You see how it turns off my traction control automatically when I go into 4 low? So if I floor it, all 4 tires, each tire is getting 25% of the power from this motor, the way it's set up right now. And none of them can slip. See how I slide completely sideways? Because all four are sliding. You notice how there's no from my traction control kicking on? Because it's a real truck. It actually is an all-wheel drive without a computer making it work. Now we'll do that same takeoff with just 4-wheel drive and you will hear my traction control kicking in because the limited slip differential is turned off. See how it just kicked in and cut the power on the motor? Yeah. Now I'm going to turn off the limited slip differential.